Greetings, Force fans. All right, so we are getting down to the final stages of this here Skirata build, and we're going to be weathering. So here, helmet. Going to have to attach the visor eventually. Oh, probably be today. I got to spray it first with clear coat. I got the little happy face. What's up? There, Nerdy Edits. What's going on, man? I got the little, it's basically a emoji that goes on the side there. So I got that. We got to black wash a little bit on that. Spray coat this, add the visor, add the little bit of mesh in the back there, and we're done with that. But we're going to be black washing and weathering the majority of the armor today. So most everything is painted and complete. Gauntlets. So I love that. It's just a cool looking combo. I created that. Little toggle switch on the side here. Missile flamethrowers. I've got tubing that I've created back here. Oop, these will kind of go off the back end of that like so. Have to glue those in, and then they get attached into the sleeves. So all of this is starting to come along. I got to create the rest of this tubing as well today. So little things that I'll be working on. But mainly today we're going to be doing some black wash weathering on this here armor. I'm going to go through and do some blaster marks and things of the sort. So if y'all have any questions as we go, let me know. I want to talk Star Wars Skeleton Crew, let me know. Whatever y'all want to chat about, I am here for. So yeah, I've got a good like 4 days off in a row where I can just really focus on this armor. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is just a black wash, standard acrylic paint that I mixed with some water, and you really just kind of brush it over and dab it off. Very simple process and very effective. It does take a couple passes to really kind of give it any real look. I go between dab and wiping just to give it different textures and different passes on there. Hey, what's going on, Mark? Yeah, and it, you know, right now it's just kind of what I got around me on here, and I also have the good juice that I'm going to be trying a little bit later as well. That was from my coworker, Mark, who provided me with that little secret formula. Yeah, sponge brushes, anything to kind of change up the texture, but I find that paper towels really just, you know, you can kind of do whatever you want with them. I love the fact that this starts to soak up the paint, and then when you're wiping, you're actually wiping paint into it at times. But it's just, it's a subtle, I don't even know if you can really kind of see what goes on. Very subtle look, but it works. It works. It works. And then what I'm also going to do is kind of come through with some rub and buff and like hit these edges of this armor in certain places. Let me show you. Just to kind of give it is this is all Beskar that has been painted. So where the paint scrapes off, there should be a little like kind of metal showing through. So I will do that with the little rub and buff. I love rub and buff. I have a very good relationship with rub and buff. So you can kind of see it just makes it look like the paint is rubbed off just a little bit on the edge. Love that. I love that. It just brings it to life. So weathering is really what kind of makes these things transform from plastic, pieces of painted plastic, to look like real, legitimate metal. Small little notches like that. This looks good. Let's do some on this. So I hope everybody is watching Skeleton Crew. It gives me faith that Star Wars is not dead. Fun, fun, fun show. And we finally got an next one that made it really feel like Star Wars. But yeah, I'm definitely digging Skeleton Crew and kind of what they've got going on with that. Not really have any idea where it's going, which is a whole lot of fun for me. It's been a while since there's been a Star Wars show that I really don't know what to expect on. So that's a fun, exciting situation to be in. Just piece. And with weathering, I never like to go too overboard. You know, I think that you can make it look kind of shitty. You can overweather the piece. So I like to do less is more, but again, several passes, and I'll do this, sit on it, you know, for the afternoon, come back and look at it and decide, you know, do I want it a little more, a little less? What are we missing? And the weathering should really tell a story, honestly. It should tell the armor story. Yeah, Andor Season 2, dude, that's gonna be next level. And Andor is the Star Wars hill that I die on, man. That show is the best Star Wars out there, bar none. It made me like the movie even more, which is, you know, that's just cool. If a television show makes you appreciate the movie, because my least favorite part of Rogue One is Diego Luna and Cassian Andor. I just really didn't like his character, and man, I really do now. So, what an amazing show. What an amazing show. All right, Miss Jody. I'm sorry that your nipples are so sore this morning. Looks like we've got somebody taking over the chat. My nipples are not sore this morning, though, so, you know, it happens. My nipples are seldom sore. I will tell you that. But I think you're in the wrong chat. Ah, here it is. Maybe you are in the right chat. Look, boys, boobies. Take it easy, sir. Yeah, I'm going to start knocking out some Jedi Survivor today. I definitely have some work to do on that. Thank you for being here, dude. Yep, there's Miss Jody. If anybody would like to talk to Miss Jody about her nipples, she seems very eager to discuss them. But as Admiral Akbar would say, it's a trap. This corner feels like it would be a little red. Oh, where'd you go, Miss Jody? I missed your nipple talk. Other piece done. And there's the little middle nipple. Middle. Actually, speaking of nipples, that's nipple armor right there, or armor nipple. Yeah, once you get the wipe off rag good and covered, you really don't even need to paint anymore. You just use the rag to weather the pieces. So what I'm using here is Rub and Buff. This is silver Rub and Buff. And I'm just kind of hitting these edges where I feel like it would have rubbed off. Because this is painted Beskar. So this is a silver steel underneath it. And there are places where the armor would have rubbed off. And that's what I'm trying to hit. There's a little stippling in the paint there. And I'm just going to go over that also with some Rub and Buff. And that'll actually kind of make it look like it was intended. One piece all said and done. Stuff is starting to come along. Let's take all these here gauntlets. That thing is a thing of beauty. But it's too pretty right now. We need to make it look a little bit rougher. Let this acrylic get into all these nooks and crannies. A little more Velcro to add to the suit, the jumpsuit for the cod and the butt. And I think pretty much everything's done. I believe Cody's coming by Saturday for final test fitting on this. Should be able to get it all put together for him and get to kind of finally see what it looks like all put together. The lids are getting covered. All right, we got lots of little angles on this one that we'll be able to hit with this rubber buff just to make it pop.
All good, babe. Yeah, that happened early, and so the rest of the day was fine. We were busy as all get out. Yeah. Should be making some commissions, so what's the deal?
That's my wife. She's talking to my daughter. If y'all have any questions about what I'm doing, just ask. Happy to tell. This is a commission armor build for a friend of mine that's in the 501st. This is Skirata. He's a Mandalorian commando, friend of Jango Fett, and generally just a badass. He trained many of the clones, the Grand Army of the Republic. I think he trained ARC troopers.
Things you don't know all the other things that you're just doing your job, like everything.
So, all coming together. This is put together with a hinge on this side. I got some elastic on the inside so it'll kind of pop open like so. and you can slip it on your hand,
I understand.
and everything will fit.
I get that. Come on, ladies. All right, baby. I love you. You got this. Okay, babe.
Do good.
Bye. I love you. Hey, come on. Pepper. Charlie. Andy. God.
There
She
we
wants
go.
me to play with her so bad. Come on. Come on.
Jeez.
Come on. Charlie. Charlie. Come on. Charlie, come on.
We have dog sitting my brother and sister-in-law's little
Get out of her face.
rugrats. They're lovely. That's what you hear in the background.
There we go. Do you know where her red frisbee is?
No, probably inside. Inside?
Where's your red frisbee?
I love those little darts on me. Very cool addition. Yeah, his armor is basically Jango Fett's armor. Just a different color scheme. Very cool. I love it. And he doesn't have a jetpack. Django's got a jetpack. He doesn't have a jetpack. Whereas Django doesn't have a jetpack anymore. Boba's got Django's jetpack. So I guess it's kind of Boba's armor too, if it's Django's armor. The same kind of Westar blaster, same holster. Very similar look. Probably use the same armor kit for both of them. What's up, Catastrophe? Catastrophe. Yeah, it didn't come off on camera so well, but this is actually doing a wonderful, marvelous job of weathering us up. I just think that adds to it. So right now working on, these are knee armor pieces for a commissioned Cal Skirata build. So he is a Mandalorian commando, the general badass. Love that. Doing this for a friend of mine in the 501st. On the weathering phase, getting very, very close to completion. I got a couple more pieces of Velcro to add to the jumpsuit and possibly to the vest, but I think we're almost ready for a fitting, which is going to happen on Saturday. And right now I'm just kind of working on the weathering, adding some rub and buff, which is what would happen when this Beskar kind of gets rubbed down. And we end up with the bells. Knee bells. I don't know what those are called. Knee pads, knee pieces. Alright, so let me show you guys a little bit of kind of what we've got going on here. So we have boots. Get this armor on top of it. So that combined with that make your boot armor. Got a full flight suit here and a vest. And all these pieces are going to be kind of Velcroed onto that. That's how the attachment goes on. We've got two different gauntlets. Going like that. And have tubes that go out of there. But yeah, basically I am right now just weathering all of this and making it pretty. Making it pretty. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on. Okay. This now. What's up, Ike? You missed it, man. Earlier, some chick was in here talking about her nipples. Her nipples were sore. I felt like it was a trap, as Admiral Ifor would say. A couple comments and then she left. I feel like she was trying to get somebody to pay for something. Ike, we're on the final stages of the weathering here. Ike, are you caught up on Skeleton Crew? Because I'm really, really enjoying that show. whole process. So you notice the first time I do this, see how the paint's all kind of just balling up on top of there and running off. I get it rubbed in, the next pass over, it'll kind of stick a lot better to this. I'm just going to give it more of a coat. You see that? So make sure you want to do multiple passes on this, but that first pass just kind of breaks down that paint that's on there, the coating of the paint that's on there. I'll do that, let it sit for a minute. And again, you see how it's just balling up, kind of rolling off. Get it rubbed in there, and then that next pass will be much, much better. I am building Mandalorian armor. There's a Mandalorian, I'm actually weathering it right now. These are the boot plates. It's a Mandalorian commando named Cal Skirata. There's a commission build that I'm doing for a friend of mine. Cal Skirata was a commando that helped train the Grand Army of the Republic. So he was a friend of the clones, which means he's a friend of mine. The black wash just kind of adds the age to it. And then I like to go over with the silver rub and buff, just to kind of, that's where the paint has chipped off of the Beskar. And it gives it that really cool kind of effect. I'm just kind of hitting the edges. Maybe a stripe or two in the middle. I feel like this would have been the tip of this. A little bit more marked up. Well, there you go, there you go. Just like that. And boot plates are done. Alright. There's a couple more pieces to weather. We got, oops, 2 thigh plates, back kind of butt piece, cod, and then the back plate. There's also a backpack option, or so, yeah, it's a kind of a, almost like a clone medic backpack option that you can add to it. I, however, have not been able to find that file for him. I failed you. Cody, I failed you. But I will make every effort to still get it. It kind of, yeah, it kind of looks like a clone backpack. In my experience, the less kind of heavy back objects that you can have on a build, the better off you're going to be. But for the Mando Merc, if you wanted to get this approved for the Mando Mercs as well, he would need that. So we'd have to find that. Which again is a, you know, if you get approval of one costume club, that's all you need. So then you can take it to official events. Anything else is just bragging, man. See that second pass through. how that paint kind of sits on there a whole lot better. These pieces are mostly going to be covered up. And this is just an acrylic black wash, so it's acrylic black paint mixed with some water that I'll just wipe off. This was a regular paper towel at one point. But I'll wipe it on, wipe it off. It just kind of gives it that age feeling. It gets into crevices, cracks, and makes the armor feel like it's worn. You know, some looks like that. These are knee or the thigh pieces right here. Just try to wipe it first. Yeah, look at that. So weathering, to me, this is my favorite part of the build process. It's kind of what makes these little pieces of plastic really feel like they're real. Take something that looks like a painted prop and you're really giving it some life. I'll just backplate. The weathering is done. Although what I like to do is kind of do this, and I'll sit on it for an afternoon and come back and look at it and see, do I feel like it needs more? Do I feel like it needs less? And typically less is more in a weathering thing. You know, you can overdo it. You don't want to overdo it. Usually by the end of the process is when this weathering rag gets to be wonderful. We're going to probably weather the armor with just this now. Dabbing and painting. Got enough paint on here. I feel like these raised pieces, Beskar would have rubbed through a little bit on those. One last piece, which is this bad boy, which needs a little bit of extra work to mix or to fix my little flub up down here. So I'm going to come through and make kind of a blaster score on that. So I dropped this piece and to glue it all back together in there. So this was actually 3 separate pieces, and I just need to do a little kind of blaster or something in there. After all is said and done, I'll dry brush that and use a little bit of rub and buff to kind of fix what my mistake was. But yeah, that looks good. there you go. We are looking good. All right, y'all. I think that is all I'll be doing on camera for today. Got a little bit of drying to do. Then I will have to clear coat everything. A little bit more Velcro to add to the jumpsuit. And making these tubes for the there's 5 tubes that come off the gauntlets that go into the jumpsuit, so I'll be making those today as well. But that's it for today, y'all. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this, give me a like. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. I do appreciate all that. But give me a like. Give me a subscribe. You'll like it. If you like this, you'll like my other content. As always, I'm Darth Rage. This is Darth Rage Reviews, your source for the Force.